Welcome to Kigali in Rwanda, where Commonwealth leaders are meeting tonight for the first time in 4 years. They're having their welcome banquet in that rather multicoloured hall behind me. Paul Kagame welcoming all the leaders. Boris Johnson is there. We travelled here with the Prime Minister, and during this summit he'll hand over the rotating Commonwealth chairmanship to Rwanda's President. Since April, the two leaders have formed a new bond, with the deal announced in April to send asylum seekers arriving in the UK over here, more than 4,000 miles away. Now, officially, the British government has concerns about Rwanda's human rights record, but Boris Johnson doesn't, telling me as we left Britain that Rwanda has made remarkable progress. Opposition politicians and activists here do question that, as I've been finding out. After weeks of controversy and legal battles, a British government plane landed in Kigali. There was no getting away from the fact, admitted Boris Johnson, that he'd arrived before any asylum seekers. Thanks to the pandemic, Rwanda has had an extra 2 years to get ready. The streets are clean, the traffic flowing to allow VIPs to move, like Prince Charles, taking his mother's place this time, got here yesterday and has been busy building bridges. But it follows his reported view that deporting asylum seekers to Rwanda is appalling. Was that what Boris Johnson meant when he said he wanted to change condescending attitudes towards this country?
They're basing their criticisms on a perception, perhaps a stereotype of Rwanda that is now outdated. And they should come here, as the heads of the Commonwealth governments are coming here today, see the kind of progress that Rwanda has made. And believe me, we did a huge amount of due diligence on the legal processes, on the safety.
The Rwandan president, Paul Kagame, has effectively ruled here for 3 decades since the genocide. Re-elected with 99% of the vote, he's a man who believes in getting things done.
How are you? Very good to see you.
Whether or not it conforms to the norms of Western democracy. He is a man Boris Johnson is keen to do business with. But Rwandan opposition figures say Britain is making a big mistake. Victoire Ingabire spent 8 years in jail on national security charges she claims were entirely political. Is there great progress in this country?
There's some achievement in the development, but if you take a look in the values as democracy, human rights, Rwanda has a longer way to go. And we can't say that we can have a sustainable development if we don't have the rule of law, if the human right is abused.
Boris Johnson said that he wants, with this visit, to dispel some of what he called the condescending attitudes about Rwanda.
Oh, maybe because they have this deal to send in Rwanda the asylum seekers in Rwanda.
Are you saying those people won't be able to live successful lives here? No,
because Rwanda is economical is closed, political is closed. Second, the ruling party control everything. You cannot open a business if the ruling party does not accept it. You cannot participate in political activities if the ruling party does not accept it. Everything is under control of a ruling party.
At the Association of Rwandan Journalists in Kigali, independent reporters are putting their material direct on social media because they claim the news companies here are also effectively singing the state narrative. Why? What sort of interference is there?
Because if one works with a TV or a radio station here in Rwanda, it's easily to interfere them, to cancel them, or to even censor what they have been doing.
This afternoon, Boris Johnson made a solemn visit to the Genocide Memorial in Kigali, and the Rwandan government tells its critics to keep in mind how recently this country was torn apart. Well, earlier I spoke to Yolanda Makalo, who's the spokesperson for the Rwandan government, and I asked her what the asylum seekers will do when they come to Rwanda from the UK, if they ever get here, with concerns of unemployment amongst young people in Rwanda already existing.
Unemployment is a problem everywhere. This relationship that we're getting into with the UK, this migration and economic development partnership, is going to be resourced, well-resourced. There's a lot of opportunity in Rwanda and a lot of talent as well, not only among Rwandans, but Even among the migrants, many of them are economic migrants. Not all of them are refugees or asylum seekers, but they're seeking opportunities and they deserve this, and we want to give them these opportunities.
But a lot of these people come from repressive countries where they seek a democratic culture. Now, in this country, Paul Kagame was elected with 99%. That doesn't sound like a democratic culture.
Well, we have a politics and a system of government that works for this country, that serves the needs of this people, that responds to the context that we have here.
But is there a culture of political opposition here? You know, we've been meeting activists today who are saying you can't be an opposition politician in this country. You get jailed or ostracised or followed around and persecuted.
The people you met were in jail?
No. Well, maybe you haven't jailed all of them. But you're not denying that there are politicians who are arrested on all sorts of charges and politicians who've been killed.
No, anyone is free to express themselves. What people are not free to do is break the law. We have a country that has come out of genocide 28 years ago that was fueled, number one, by media, by bad politics. We don't want to go back there. So the laws that we have in this country are there to keep everyone safe, all Rwandans. So when someone breaks the law, they go to the justice system, which we also have rebuilt.
But do you think there is multi-party democracy here, in a way that we would understand? Because how can there be when the leader is elected with a 99% majority?
Why does it have to be in the way you understand? Rwanda is not the UK, it's not the US. Even these countries have their own issues. We're all working to unite our people. We're not going to mimic a system of government that is also imperfect. We have a system that works for us. It doesn't look the same as maybe what you know, but it's what works for us. Rwandans are free to express themselves. We have opposition parties in parliament. They can oppose government programs if they want to, if they feel that they're not responding to the needs of Rwandans.
What about media and freedom of speech in journalism? We went to the Journalism Association today, and members there told us that there wasn't freedom of journalism. If you work in a normal, regulated broadcasting sphere or a newspaper, there are stories that you just can't cover, and that if you want to cover those stories, you have to do it independently on the internet, where the government finds it harder to stop you.
But they're able to do that. They're out there doing whatever they need to do. I think what you've just described exists in every country. Every media house in the world has its own editorial lines, doesn't it? And we continue to make progress.
I mean, those journalists we spoke to at the association today said many of them had been arrested many times, harassed by the police for all sorts of things.
I don't recognize what the country they're talking about, These journalists, first of all, insisted that the government get out of media regulation. We did that 12 years ago. As of 2010, media in this country is self-regulating. Since 2015, there are no laws. We wiped out all of them. There are no laws that criminalize journalism in this country. So no journalist can be arrested here just for doing journalism.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.